Alrighty, what's up everybody? It is I, the King of Extreme, Peter Joseph here, your tribal god. So many names I can't even remember, but it is I, Peter Joseph here, for a Friday evening, getting close to Friday night, or if you're on the East Coast, it is Friday night, so we'll call it a Friday night, and it's Friday, gotta get down on Friday, something for the weekend, as always. Friday evening, Friday night, November the 21st, 2025. We're closing out the month of November. We got about 9 days left, a little over a week and a half almost. 6 days till Thanksgiving. A week from Black Friday. So, holiday season's just around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready for that. And before you know it, the greatest month in the world, with the greatest people in the world that celebrate birthdays, is coming up a week from Sunday. Actually, after next Sunday, 30, week from Monday, you know what I mean. But anyway, we move on with that. But thank you all for watching this video on your Friday night, right here, on the main channel, Killer of Demons 669. And as always, thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video, hit that subscribe button down in my pants, otherwise known as the description box below. Show your love and support to my channels. Leave a comment on the video if you like. You don't have to. If you want to, go ahead, but don't leave stupid comments. You're going to go get sent to your room. Or, in other words, the shadow realm where Satan and Ozzy will eat your soul and beat you severely. Because that's what they do down there. And you'll never be heard from again. You're blocked, hidden, gone. You're out of here. So, if you want to do that, go somewhere else to do that shit. You ain't gonna do it here. You don't like it? Tough shit. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Share the video all over the internet. Don't forget to tap and slap that bell, turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one. Because if you miss anything, well, you suck! And you're SOL. You better know what that means by now. If you don't know what it means, for the love of God, stop being a lazy fuck and look it up. And that's that. And if you're brand new here, well, welcome to the party, pal. We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax, grab a nice, tasty, cold one. Straight cherry Coke. Because we don't drink here. Tomorrow we'll drink. That's the most silly fun time. But anyway, not tonight. Because, we're pre-gaming for tomorrow. There's lots of big things tomorrow and Sunday, so we got that. But anyway, grab yourself a nice tasty cold one, sit back, relax, put your feet up and enjoy the show. If you like it, great. Well, too bad. That's it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday, November the 21st, 2025. We got SmackDown coming up in a little over an hour. Gonna be a pretty interesting show. We got more of the John Cena tournament. We got Big Bronson Reed, a big fat otaku man. He looks like otaku. He does. Trust me. But fatter than otaku, but it is what it is. But anyway, Bronson Reed takes on him, Carmelo Hayes, and if Melo loses, we riot. We got that. We got Ilya Dragunov taking on JD McDumpfuck. It was supposed to be an open challenge, but it got leaked on Ringside News. So it wasn't going to be a big surprise. But they're running it back because they had a great match their first time. So let's do it again. Why not? So that's going to be great. We're going to see, hopefully, the final members of the Women's War Games team. Possible tonight. Some more stuff with the men. And a whole lot more on your 2-hour cure for insomnia. And that's WWE SmackDown. So that's tonight. And we pretty much got that. Don't forget, tomorrow we got we got AEW Full Gear tomorrow night at 8 p.m. with the pre-show at 7 o'clock. And nobody's gonna watch. I won't. I'll be out. I'll be out. I might watch the beginning of it. Depends on what I'm doing after my my concert tomorrow. Because I gotta set up, I gotta take down the equipment, gotta edit, and it's a mess. So, And plus, the after show, whatever me and my friends and the missus are gonna do tomorrow night, I might just come straight home and watch Full Gear and then go to bed. That's it. Depends how I feel, but we got that. And then Sunday we got football. Jets and Giants are in action. Niners are playing on Monday night football. Can't wait for that. Got a concert Sunday night, so I'm busy the whole weekend. It's insane. And then we got Thanksgiving week with a lot of good stuff. We got the last live Raw until after Thanksgiving. We got taped NXT. Wednesday night, we got Dynamite, the aftermath of Full Gear, along with they're taping Collision after that. So we'll see Collision on Thursday night. You probably won't. Well, I'll probably watch it Friday morning, but, I'm not watching it Thursday night. Not while football's on. Thursday night football on Thanksgiving night. Not doing that. I'm not going to watch wrestling. No way. We got that. And Ring of Honor as well with TNA. As we're going into Final Resolution. We'll talk about TNA in a little bit. And Ring of Honor. And then Friday night, we got, next Friday night, we got taped SmackDown. And then next Saturday, the Survivor Series from Petco Park in San Diego, California. A great city that it is. And then next Sunday, we watch more football. And then we start December with that. So, lots of things going on, ladies and gentlemen. So please hit that bell so you don't miss anything. We'll talk about SmackDown tomorrow, early tomorrow afternoon. Actually, take that back. We'll probably talk about SmackDown late tomorrow night after Full. We'll see. I'll see. Maybe I could talk about SmackDown later tonight or early tomorrow because I want to get my AEW review in after SmackDown tonight and then get the predictions for Full Gear done before I go out to my concert and everything. So everything will be hopefully done before Full Gear, and then we'll talk about Full Gear on Sunday. And if anything else I missed, we'll talk about that probably Sunday. And that's that. Get you ready for Thanksgiving week. And we'll start fresh. So fresh and so clean, like Outkast used to sing. The great band that it is. Well, not band per se, but whatever. Way better than the mumble rappers that are out today. Sold more records than that schmuck Kendrick Lamar. Oh boy. We move on with that. Alright, well, I hope everybody is having a great Friday. I'm having a good Friday, and I'm just gonna enjoy the weekend with some great metal! It's gonna be insane. I might lose my voice, so you might get a reprieve this weekend. I don't know, but we'll see what happens with that. Alright, before we get to SmackDown, let's talk about some TNA Impact Wrestling. And it's your TNA Impact Wrestling Ring of Honor, or sometimes Ring of Horror, reviews for November the 20th, last night, 2025. As always, we begin with the better show. That's TNA Impact Wrestling, which wasn't a bad show per se, but we're pretty much one more show away. Well, this coming Thursday is actually 2 shows away from Final Resolution, the final event of the year for Impact. And then we start off 2026 with Genesis. And then we got that. Alright, Impact Wrestling, coming off last week's live show, which was, kind of weird. Actually, we had the live show, then we had Turning Point the next night. So, this is the aftermath of Turning Point, which was a pretty good show. Mike Santana, we didn't know what was happening with him. He comes back, beats the fuck out of Frankie Kazarian. And the NXT guys. But we're going to see what happens with him and a whole lot more. So we are emanating from old school NXT, and that's Full Sail University in Orlando, Florida. Even though it's Winter Park, but it's Orlando. Okay? It's Orlando! Not Winter Park, it's Orlando. The suburb of, well, not the suburb, but Winter Park is the suburb of Orlando. And that's that. Moving on. Alright, as always, our commentary team of Tom Phillips and Aiden English, otherwise known as Matthew Waywalt, who thinks every day is Rusev Day! If every day was Rusev Day, it would be great, right? Probably. Pretty much. I think Rusev did an interview. I think he shot down that CJ Perry was preggy. I don't know. I mean, if they are, great for them. If not, well, he didn't crush CJ Perry's pussy. Yeah! Didn't do a good job. But it is what it is. Alright. So we move on. Alright, so we start off Impact Wrestling with a in memoriam to George Tahinos, who's a photographer, did a lot of good photography in WCW, NWA, lots of good photography. He was a good photographer, and sadly passed away this week. So we got that. So, TNA paid tribute to him, and Bob Caudle, who passed away, the legendary WCW/NWA interviewer / play-by-play / color commentator. He did a lot of stuff with Jim Ross and Tony Baloney Schiavone. A great man. Passed away, I believe, at 95. Oof. I wish we could live forever. We can't. We don't have the Dragon Balls. We don't have, the time clock in that Nickelback video. I mean, imagine we did. Then we all know when we're gonna die. Pretty much. Then again, you could die suddenly, but... So, it is what it is. But, rest in peace to George Tahinos and, Bob Caudle, and, that's that. Moving on. Alright, now we officially begin with the recap of last week's title change before Turning Point with Frankie Kazarian after the NXT catering crew beat the fuck out of Mike Santana. Frankie Kazarian came out and cashed in his half of the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, Call Your Shot Cup, whatever it's called, and he won the title. Goes to Turning Point where him and I think Dolph Ziggler teamed up against was supposed to be Steve Macklin and Mike Santana, but we had the whole thing where nobody knew where Santana was. We didn't know if he was going to show up. It started as a 2-on-1 handicap match, and then Santana comes into the parking lot, goes into Full Sail, and he just comes out and beats the fuck out of everybody. And then him and Macklin get the win, and Santana pinned Kazarian. So we got that. And also, NXT, also the catering crew invaded Turning Point. So we'll see what happens with this situation. Maybe people are saying lethal lockdown between NXT and TNA. I'm interested, but we'll see what happens with that. Alright, we got the opening sequence, and then, speaking of Mike Santana, he comes out, Mike Santana! He comes out, starts to show off, sits himself down in the middle of the ring. He says, I love you guys, the fans. And I love this segment because it was from the heart. He talked a lot of realness and passion. The crowd was silent. I loved it. None of this, what? Shit. When somebody gets real in the ring, you shut the fuck up. So that's what Santana did. He's like, I fought to get to the top. I shared the victory with my baby girl, his lovely daughter. And he said, last week I made it to 1,000 days clean and sober. Yeah, love that. Then the next day, it was all taken away from me, and it was the first time I was scared, because he lost the title unexpectedly. Like, after a month, he loses the belt by stupidity. Couldn't have lost it like a man, but they had the stupid NXT morons coming out. So anyway, he says, before Turning Point, I went to a safe space. I went to a meeting. He could have really went off the deep end, kind of got back to the drugs and the alcohol. He could have really fucked his day up. But thankfully, he went to a meeting. Crowd loved it. I loved it. So, he didn't do, anything bad, like kill himself or something like that, because that would be really bad. And make Carlos Silva, the president of TNA, look like an idiot. Anyway, so Santana says the people here give TNA their, you paid your hard-earned money to see a show, and he's like, I want my world title back right here, right now. So he calls out Frankie Kazarian, he says, I'm coming for you, but first, I'm picking off each and every one of those NXT catering crew guys, one by one. Then he gets up out of his chair, looks at the hard camera, and says, consider this your warning, beware. You don't want to fuck with Mike Santana, and you don't want to fuck with a guy from the Bronx, or Brooklyn, too. But I digress on that. So, Mike Santana is hunting. He's on the hunt for those NXT catering crew guys, led by Lexus King and company. So we'll see what happens with that. But great promo. Like I said, the fans were silent, loved it, and I gave the first segment 4.25 out of 5 stars. And if I may be overrating it, it's my show, not yours, mine. So, you want to rate it less? Go ahead. I thought it was great. We move on with that. Alright, after that, we go, speaking of the champ, Frankie Kazarian comes in to see Santino Marella, you son of a gun! And he wants a formal apology for having nothing to do with the whole NXT invasion. Bullshit! So then, Johnny Curtis, or Fandango, he comes in, mocks Kazarian's style. What's wrong with wearing a metal jacket and a metal shirt? What's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with that, Johnny! Come on. I mean, it's better than wearing a really flimsy jacket and dancing weird. Still classic, but still. Anyway. So he asks for a world title shot, and Santino gives him a #1 contenders match for later on in the show. Ah, man. We get that. Alright, so I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars, and that's it. Alright, then we get to the action, because, as always, a little less talk and a lot more action on my show. Or as my ex would say. But, she gets paid to say that, too. Great stuff. Good stuff. Hold up. Stop. I love when my computer just, I'm scrolling down my notes, and it just, and I have to go back. Alright, now I'm back. Alright, match number 1 on the program. We have a fatal 4-way match where the winner, the winner faces the winner of another fatal 4-way match for a knockouts title shot. Alright, we got that. Alright, so the first one is Myla Grace versus Indy Hartwell versus my girl Danny Luna versus my demon bride. We haven't seen her in a while because, she's underneath in the shadow realm, pretty much. My demon assassin, my demon bride, the co-founder of the prophecy. You know her, you love her, you can't get enough of her. Rosemary. You love it. But, as always, the prophecy gets shafted. But we still got gold around our sexy waist in other realms, but we get that. Alright, match wasn't that bad, under 10 minutes. So, we get quick roll-ups to start, then Rosemary's like, fuck that shit. But she gets caught in the corner with some running shots to knock her for a loop, you bastards. that gets shrugged off. She's able to fight out of a Hertz donut attempt. That's Indy's finisher. Indy beats up Myla Grace in the corner, and a side slam gets on the fall. We go to break. We come right back. Indy gets caught in the upside down, whatever that is. But she gets out of that in a hurry and hits a spine buster on my girl Rosemary for the fall. Myla hits a big flippy dippity-doo to take out Rosemary on the floor. And then Danny, Luna, and Indy close on each other as Rosemary loads up a chain. Uh-oh, she's getting hardcore. Myla sends Rosemary into the ring post. Ow, you bastard. Bitch. So Rosemary drops the chain, which allows Danny Luna to use it to knock Indy Hartwell the fuck out, because it's no DQ. So, Danny Luna, my girl Danny Luna gets the win, and she will face the winner of the other Fatal 4-Way match coming up later in the program. So, it is what it is. I was hoping Rosemary would get the win. Obviously not. She really needs to, they really need to do something with Rosemary. I'm getting sick and tired of her just getting into matches, like a casino gauntlet, not a casino gauntlet, like a battle royal, or a number one contenders match, and either she takes the pin, or she doesn't factor into the pin. It's been a very long time since she's been Knockouts champion, and I think she might have one final run in her, but they don't do anything with Rosemary. I'm like, hang it up. It's getting sick. I'm getting pissed that Rosemary is not Knockouts champion. I mean, the last title she held was with Jessica Havoc and Taya Valkyrie of the Death Dolls! That was it. The last time she actually held one of the titles in TNA. That was it. And they kept going back and forth with Spitfire. And, that's it. But Jessica Havoc, I don't think is wrestling anymore. I don't think she either got injured or something happened to her. I forget what happened, but... And we all know Taya Valkyrie went to AEW / Ring of Honor to suck, along with her husband Johnny TV. And now they're in that whole stable MXM TV with Mason Mansoor. So Rosemary, she'll occasionally show up, but most of the time, I think she's just putting over talent. That's it. Sucks. Sucks for the co-founder of the Prophecy, She can only do so much. Alright, we get that. Match was alright. 2.25 out of 5 stars. So Danny Luna is in, and she awaits the winner of the other Fatal 4-Way match. Let me move on. Alright. Quick drinky break. I'm so fucking tongue-tied. Blah. Don't ask me why. You know why. Alright, after that, we get to Grandpa Eric Young blaming Santino Marella for all the problems in the company, and he once again says the cleanse is coming. Well, Mr. Clean's gonna come out? Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt, gets it clean in just a minute. Mr. Clean, da 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 da. Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. I don't know why I send the Mr. Clean jingle, but okay. Alright, so Eric Young and his cleanse, whenever it's coming, feels like 10-10-10. If you follow TNA for so long like I have. We'll see what happens with that. Alright, moving along! Alright, with that. So I give that 2.25 out of 5 stars. And then, Santino Marella and his hot daughter, Ariana Grace, are in the back. Then the Hardy Boys, Broken Matt Hardy, yes! Wonderful! Delete! And Jeff Hardy, dude! The TNA Tag Team Champions, and the big man himself, Steve Macklin, they come in. They want a piece of the NXT Invaders. Why not? They want a piece of his ass! What? That sounds weird. Whatever. We move on. Alright, 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. back to the ring we go. We got Woo Woo Woo, Matt Cardona, not Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona. He goes one-on-one with the man who recently got married to Stephanie DeLander. That's the crazy fuck himself, Mance Warner. This match was alright, nothing great. It's also with Mance having to pull, Stephanie DeLander, is with her, and he has to pull him away from an early reboot attempt, whatever that is. I think that's, is that the, no, that's not Radio Silence, that's the other finisher. Reboot's probably some kick or some shit. Anyway. And then Stephanie distracts Matt Cardona again. They know each other from GCW. Anyway. So Mance counters Radio Silence into a sit-up powerbomb for a near fall. Then they slug it out. Cardona wins that, gets in a spine buster, and a flapjack sets up the reboot for a near fall. Mance face plants Cardona down, and a running knee connects for a near fall. Stephanie DeLander slips in a chair, which is taken away by the referee. I don't think that was an accurate good idea to do it right in front of the referee there, Steph, you know? Anyway, that was Matt Cardona to hit Radio Silence. And then Stephanie DeLander puts her husband's foot on the rope. So, broke the pin. Cardona goes after her. And that's enough for Stephanie to slip in her purse. And which Mance used it for a cheap shot. I wonder what was in that bag. Probably a brick or some shit. Then Mance hits the pay window, which is an implant DDT. 1, 2, 3. Mance Warner gets the win over Matt Cardona in a little over 5 minutes. Thanks to his hot wife. Hey, I used to do that back in the XWF. Steal my moves and steal my ideas, bastards. We move on with that. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Alright, after that, the NXT Invaders are here. They talk about how TNA came to their house at the Capitol Wrestling Center first, but now they're seen as the bad guys. And then Robert Stoner, Robbie E, insists that he is not the person behind all this bullshit. And Nexus King promises to shatter TNA into 1,000,000 pieces. Yeah, right. You? Okay, Brian Pillman Jr. Right. Okay. Now you're just talking crazy. So we got that. So let's see what happens with all that. Moving on. 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. Alright, Matt Cardona is sick and tired about Mance Warner and his hot wife Stephanie DeLander cheating him out of the win earlier. Now the Deathmatch King wants Mance Warner in a street fight at Final Resolution. Oh boy, that's gonna be barbaric. Between two guys who, I mean, Mance Warner is a sick fuck, if you've seen his CCW work. And, you know, Matt Cardona can get hardcore, too, if you've seen him in GCW, former GCW World Champion, beating the likes of Nick fucking Gage, of all people. Jeez. With his hot wife, Chelsea Green, Madam President. We get that. Alright, so I gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars. We move on. Back to the action we go, back to the ring. Myron Reed takes on John Skyler. Myron we all know from the Rascals. So we got that. This was a pretty decent match. 6.5 minutes. So with Myron drop-kicking John down to start. Skyler comes back with a ram into the turnbuckle. Ow. A Russian leg sweep gives Skyler a near fall. He knocks Myron down again, grabs a basic waist lock. Myron comes back. He tries to come back, gets cut off with a basic clothesline. So he switches to a running boot to face, and a slingshot leg drop in the ropes. Ow. Staggers Skyler again, and a slingshot belly to back. These slingshots are creepy. Devastating. We get that. That gets a near fall. And then a big diving gimme kata! Bang! Well, that gets cut off with a slingshot spear to give John Skyler a near fall. But Myron comes back with a stun dog millionaire a la Orange Cassidy But you squeeze orange juice. We get that. And then they're both down. We go to the back where Order 4, that's Mustafa Ali's crew, they take out the rest of the Rascals. That's Trey Miguel, Zachary Wentz, and Wesley, or Desmond Xavier now. Byron's back up with a ghillie cutter that sends Skylar to the outside, sets up a big flippy dippity-doo. Makes the crowd go nuts. Back in. Byron tries a sunset flip, but Jason Hodge, the other member of the Good Hands, or the Great Hands, he comes out to help his partner get the win in just under 6.5 minutes. Match was good, ending with the chicanery. I didn't really like that much, but still a good match. 3 out of 5 stars, and that's it. That too. We move on. Alright, then we go look at the X Division champion Leon Slater retaining his title against Rich Swann. The guy goes all night long, all night at Turning Point to retain the title. We get that. And then we get Flop Dollar AJ Francis, not pleased with Rich Swann losing, but Leon Slater comes in with AJ calling the title first class property. So it looks like we got Leon Slater taking on, probably defending against AJ Francis at Final Resolution. Now let's see what happens with that. 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. And now, we get the next step in the search for Mr. Elegance! There are 3 candidates, the first of which is quickly taken away for some alone time with Ash. Alone time. I wonder what they're doing. And not baking cookies. Get that. The second is sent away for his choice of jacket color. Okay. Then the third basically begs for the chance and is dubbed a loser. A loser! And the search continues. I bet you it's the guy that went with Ash. I bet you nothing. Probably that. But you know what? It should have been me. I'm elegant. I could be elegant when I want. I can dress up in a nice suit and tie, for the Men's Warehouse. Because they like the way you look. They guarantee it. But, yeah. They picked me. I'm an elegant kind of guy, so why not pick me? But I digress. Alright. We move on with that. So, that, as they say, is that. Now, where are my rest of my notes? What happened here? God damn. I hate when my notes don't come up and I'm doing this, I'm recording this, and I have to kill air. I hate Riot. Alright, so, while we wait for my notes to reload, because my phone's in the other room, but, yeah, so we'll see what happens with Mr. Elegance, and who it could be. It was great to see Ash, who is now in a lesser role with the Elegance brand. So, we'll get that. Alright, so, I mean, it is what it is, and that's pretty much it. Alright, I'm probably gonna have to reload this, I don't know why, but, Alright, let's see if I can get my notes back. There we go. Okay, we good. Sorry for the delay on that. Alright, let me get back to my notes. Alright, we go. Here we go. Alright, so the search continues for that. Alright, then we get to the other Fatal 4-Way match for a future Knockouts title shot. We have Danny Luna, who won, and she will face the winner of Alicia Fox or Victoria Crawford, taking on Jody Threat, Zaya Brookside, or Killer Kelly. Match was decent, not great. 9-minute match. Jody Threat clears the ring to start. Xia Brookside hits a flippy dippity doo. Back in, Jody Threat blocks a head scissors from Xia Brookside before Alicia Fox takes Jody out. A rushing leg sweep gives Xia Brookside a near fall. We go to break. We come right back. Tessa Blanchard jumps in on commentary to bore the hell out of us. But then jumps back off commentary, thank the Lord, as Jody Threat dropkicks Xia Brookside, who had Alicia Fox in a fireman's carry. Killer Kelly chokes Xia Brookside and Jody Threat as in a running dropkick in a corner. Then a Michinoku driver gives Jody a near fall. Alicia Fox catches Killer Kelly with a kick to head on the middle rope. Ow. And then Alicia Fox and Jody Threat brawl to the floor, which leaves Xia Brookside to hit the Brooksy Bomb. 1, 2, 3. Xia Brookside gets the win. She will face Danny Luna I think later to see who will get the will become the number one contender to whoever is the TNA Knockouts champion at Final Resolution, and I already spoiled that, and it's Xia Li. So the battle of the Xias at Final Resolution. So what do you have? Xia Li, Xia Brookside winning the title, retaining, or Xia Brookside winning the title now? If they want to give Xia Li a nice push and a nice little title run, go ahead. I don't like it. I'd rather it be Kaylani retaining all the way to Genesis. I'm not the booker. I'm just a schmuck from New York. Honest, sexy schmuck from New York, by the way. With that. Alright, so we got Danny Luna and Xia Brookside going at it later on to see who faces the TNA Knockouts champion at Final Resolution. And that's that. Or a future title shot. But we got that. 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we got a newbie to TNA, and that's Jada Stone, who was trained by Al Snow. What's everybody want? Head. What's everybody need? Head. Pretty much. In OVW and the New Japan Dojo. I know a little thing about her too, but I've seen her in the indies. She wasn't ready in her first tryout, but then she got a contract with TNA. She's a big fan of Bayley. Give me a hug. And it meant a lot to get to meet her, and Jada basically says, I'm ready to prove myself this time. Okay? So, Jada Stone, the newest TNA Knockout. Let's see what she does. That's it. Alright, Santino Marella runs down the Final Resolution card, and I will read it as follows, and I quote, Mike Santana would take on Charlie Dempsey formerly of the No Quarter Catch Crew, or Catch Point 3.1. So, I think Mike Santana will whoop his ass, but we'll see what happens with that. For the tag team titles, we got the Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff, taking on Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Igve. What? Why face the rookies? So I think the Hardy Boys should retain there. I know their contract's coming up soon. I would hate for Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Igve, the rookies, to get the belts. But not that they're doing anything anyway, except eating all the catering food. But, we got that. And for the international title, we got Steve Macklin taking on Stacks Mahomes. Alright, we got that. So 2 weeks we get a new show for TNA, because Thursday is Thanksgiving, so no show on Thanksgiving for TNA. I think Ring of Honor doesn't have a show either, but I'm not sure, but we'll see what happens with that. Alright, then we get more of the Final Resolution card. So we got 3 matches there, we got 3 more matches for the Knockouts title. Kaylani Jordan, then TNA champion Kaylani Jordan versus Danny Luna or Xia Brookside, but I guess that's now going to change to Xia Li taking on Danny Luna or Xia Brookside, so we'll see what happens with that. Leon Slater versus AJ Francis for the X Division title, and in a street fight, Matt Cardona faces Mance Warner. We get that. Alright, moving on with that. Alright, then we go to your main event of the evening. Fandango, JDC, Johnny Curtis, takes on Grandpa Eric Young with Frankie Kazarian, the world champ, on commentary. If Johnny Curtis, if JDC wins, he gets a title shot. And if Eric Young wins, he doesn't get shit. So it's also with EY jumping JDC to start, gets knocked to the outside. JDC follows to keep up the fight, back in. Eric Young stops, slumps away, only to get punched out to the floor. And then JDC starts in on the arm, but EY sends him into the corner to take over. And he armbar suplex, ow, doesn't do much to EY. Goes right back with the ever so popular 1901 nerve hold. You'd love to see that. That gets broken up. So JDC goes up top, gets shoved off the top for a big old crash. Yikes. EY's moonsault missed. Goes to the power driver. That gets countered into a fruit roll-up for a near fall. To go up top, EY starts biting JDC's head. We got a biter! Sends him back down at a top rope. Macho Man elbow. Yeah. Did it. Well, it didn't hit it like Randy would hit it. Right, Randy? Nobody hits it like the Macho Man. Oh, yeah. Ain't that right, Miss Elizabeth? That's right, Randy. Hello, Mr. Joseph. Liz, how you doing? You look great in that red dress. Stop looking! Shut up, Randy. Moving on. Alright. So here's the top rope elbow for a near fall. The referee's almost crushed in the corner. Yikes. Sucks to be your referee, huh? Then a low blow right into the balls. Into the Death Valley driver, gives EY near fall. Then they slug it out. They go up top again. And JDC backdrops EY down. Then he hits the down and dirty. That leg drop. I thought it was the last dance. But anyway. Hits down and dirty. 1, 2, 3. JDC gets a world title shot at Final Resolution. I believe at Final Resolution or next week. Or not next week. 2 weeks. With Frankie Kazarian. So that's that. Then you have a stare down. And that ends TNA Impact Wrestling for this week. It wasn't that bad, so I gave it a 7 out of 10 stars, and that's it. Alright. We're finally done with that. Alright, now, let's get into Ring of Honor for this week. As we're coming up with the final battle. I think we got 1 or 2 shows left. So, now it's time to finally finalize the card. Thank the Lord for Tony Khan, right? Alright, so, Ring of Honor emanated from the Erie Insurance Arena in Erie, Pennsylvania. Ian Rickaboring and my good buddy the Pasta! Caprice Coleman at ringside. Oh, we got 3 shows left. Well, after this show, will be 2. We got next Thanksgiving show. Then we got the night before Final Battle, which we know is taped in advance, so we already know that. So we got that. Alright. Wasn't a bad show, per se, but Alright, starts over with my girl, Billy Starks. She's told that she's on a roll in the Pure Rules title tournament. She's only won 1 match, though. How could she be on a roll? She's on a bagel! No. Then Athena, the forever champion, getting real close to 1,100 days as champ. Really, she comes in not really proud of her minion, but she's worried about her own title defense coming up later and asks who she is if she can't beat Harley Cameron. And then the interviewer, and former minion, where that was, recites her statement, has to cut the segment before she gets hugged. I'm a great minion, I'm going to give you a hug. Hey, can I get a hug too? Athena, can you give me a hug, we're like besties. Come on. Come on! It is what it is. Alright, so I gave that first segment 2.5 out of 5 stars. That's it. Then we start the opening sequence, run down the card. And speaking of Athena, we start off with Athena defending the Ring of Honor Forever Championship against Holly Cameron. Field of Wrath! And we got that. Alright, pretty decent match. Starts with Holly starting in on the arm, cuts off an escape. Athena fights up again. They go to the outside. Harley gets rammed into the apron. Ow! Back in. Athena starts smiling. Smiley. Let's leave him with a smile. I'm going to show you a magic trick. I'm going to make this pencil disappear. Ta-da! You love the magic trick? Okay. Alright, follows that up with a cravat. Harley avoids a backsplash, snaps off a head scissors, but Athena rips at her face. Yee. That gets broken up. Harley knocks her down for a near fall. The fans are getting behind Harley. An O'Connor roll gives Athena a near fall, but the kick out sends her into the ropes. Ouch. Where she hits a springboard splash for a near fall. To go to the outside, Harley gets sent into the barricade. Ow. Which allows Athena to remind us that this is her show. Pretty much for 3+ years. Anyway, back in the ring, Harley grabs a superplex and a pump handle suplex, gets a near fall. Then they both counter, that's her finisher. So Harley kicks Athena right in the face, sets up a backstabber. And then she locks in an STF. Athena's in big trouble, but she bites the hand that feeds, bites the hand, that's a nice 9 Inch Nails reference, bites the hand to escape, and then she pulls Harley into the Koji clutch, and Harley had no choice but to tap out. 12.5-minute match, a little over 12.5 minutes, great match. Once again, Athena's just lapping the entire women's division again. So, match was decent, 3 out of 5 stars, probably one of Athena's better matches on TV. And we got that. But Harley brought it, so I gotta give her credit. Moving on. Alright, then her minion, her bestie, Billy Starks, is in a pure rules match with Katie Arquette, no relation to David Arquette, or the other Arquettes, basically. If you don't know what a pure rules match is, basically, you get 3 rope breaks. If you get to the ropes, you break them. And if you have no more rope breaks, you can't tap out. You have to tap out. You can't, you can't use the ropes for leverage or anything like that. And if you use a closed fist, that gets a warning. The next one, you lose a point or whatever. 4-minute match. Back and forth they went. Getting near the end, and Katie takes Billy into the corner for a running hip attack, but Billy is fine enough to hit a Bling Buster on the knee, or collateral damage. Where did you learn that? Adam Cole, baby. So we get that. And then she hits the Swanton. 1, 2, 3 to pick up the win in a meaningless pure rules match, which I gave 2.25 out of 5 stars. And that's pretty much it. When are we going to finish this goddamn tournament? That's that. Anyway, speaking of tournament, another woman in the tournament, Deonna Purrazzo, the virtuosa, she comes out for her match against Viva Van, the woman who can't win on Ring of Honor. They get into a stare down. Could that be the finals? At Final Battle? I think so. I think I already said that since the brackets came out. That Deonna and Billy might be fighting in the finals at Final Battle. I think Deonna might win that. Become the first ever women's pure champion. Not that they need more fucking titles! We already have the national title coming out tomorrow. Don't know who's gonna win that. Because I don't even know who's in the fucking thing. Besides Bobby Lashley and Shelty Baby going 1-2. Probably have Ricochet, the Gates of Agony, and a bunch of mid-carders. If I had to pick anybody, I want Bobby to win. I really do. Bobby or Shelton should win. I do not want Ricochet to win that fucking belt. Little trinket belt that it is. Copying off the NWA national title. And boy did Billy Corgan rip into Tony Khan with that. Alright, we got that. Alright, so Deonna takes on Viva Van in another Pure Rules match. And make a wish because Deonna Purrazzo won in 3 minutes and 33 seconds. Did I say 3 minutes and 33 seconds? Yes, I did. So, she wins with, she locks in the Fujiwara armbar. Viva uses her first rope break before a powerbomb drops her again, and a second Fujiwara armbar pretty much in the middle of the ring, and Viva Van does what she does every time she's on Ring of Honor TV. Taps out. So the Vietnamese princess, who's a goddess on the indie circuit, won mega titles on the indie circuit, comes to Ring of Honor and hasn't won shit. Feels like Miranda Alizé all over again. Basically. Every woman from the indies, if you're not like Toni Storm or Mina, you're treated like shit. Who's running this women's division? We get that. Match was, alright, 2.25 out of 5. So then after the match, Billy Starks comes out and jumps Deanna. Yee! Oh, I can't wait for that final, or the semifinals, or the finals of that. Sign me up, baby. Sign me up. Let's get it done. Let's get it on. Like Donkey Kong. Alright, moving on. Alright, then we see Persephone, who used to be the CMLL Women's Champion until that bitch Mercedes Moné took her title. She challenges Athena for final battle. Interesting. And cites two things. Number one, I beat her at Global Wars. That was a couple months ago, I believe. True. But your partner beat her. Who, that was in June. And number two, I've been running through all the women of Ring of Honor. I don't know about that. Even though she's had 3 matches in Ring of Honor, she's 2-1. Her last match was a loss in July. So she gets a title shot, which she's probably gonna lose. So Athena's gonna roll into 2026, still our forever champion, and probably go over 1,100 days as champ. Good Lord, the female Roman Reigns. I guess we can acknowledge her, because we're not going to acknowledge that bitch Mercedes Moné with her 13 belts. Possibly 14 tomorrow. Hopefully not. Because you know what happens. We will riot. And we get that. Alright. Persephone versus Athena at Final Battle for the Forever Championship. Then it's time for the Tony Khan specials. Alright, we got the big Jolly Green Giant from India. Satnam Singh takes on J.P. Grayson. Why does that name remind me of the Grayson twins in the indie circuit? Maybe, I don't know if it's him or not, but anyway. Yeah. Basic squash match, 2-minute suck fest. Satnam Singh wins with a choke bomb. Blah, 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 blah. Alright, we get that. Alright, then we get Jacked Jameson, along with the rest of the frat party. I would say something else with F in it, but can't say it here. So, Frat House is with Jack Jameson. He takes on QT Marshall Knott. And this is before QT has to team up with the douchebag of the Costco guy. You know, Big, what's his name? Big AJ, whatever his name is. Not Big Justice, the other guy. Not the kid, the other fart knocker. As they take on Trent and Rakido Mela Nese. So we got that. Alright. Match stunk. It stunk so bad. Another 2.5 minute garbage fest. Spinebuster gets Jack Jameson in their fall, but QT Marshall not. Comes back with some clotheslines. Then the cookie cutter. Bang. Nice name for a finisher. Cookie cutter. Not. So QT gets the win with that in 2.5 minutes. Match I gave 2 out of 5 stars. The last match I gave 2 out of 5 stars as well. After this match, Frat House goes after Big Boom AJ and QT Marshall clear the ring, and then Roppongi Vice come in. Trent and Rocky Romero they lay him out, and then AJ's hand is crushed with a chair. Ow! I'll use my left hand. Sucks to be you, right? Big Boom AJ. Big Bum AJ and your stupid little fucking kid. Fuck you. Don't ever say Roman Reigns' name Again, don't let it come out of your dirty fucking mouths, because you're not better than him. Nobody's better than Roman, even on commentary. Even though Roman never did commentary. He should. That would be epic. Roman doing commentary. I would pay to see that. Maybe we'll get it. Maybe we'll ask Roman. I don't know. Cheers. Ah! Just for the taste of it! Diet Coke! No. No, it's Coke Pepsi. Not Coke Pepsi. What am I talking about? It's Cherry Coke. Straight. We got that. Alright, then, speaking of bitches, Mercedes Moné, the CEO. The CEO. CEO. I am a whore. I am a whore. Yeah, you are. 13 belts, Mercedes Whore Moné brags about winning the Ring of Honor Women's TV title. Now she unified it because she beat Red Velvet from Your Mama's Kitchen. And she's using it as proof that she's ready to beat Chris Cakelander at Full Gear to become the AEW Women's Champion and 14 belts Moné. So, she doesn't mention the title, doesn't even mention Ring of Honor in general. So, basically, a belt, she wins the belt and doesn't even defend it. It doesn't even say anything about it. Like I said, 3 belts, really 4 belts Moné, because the other 10 don't count, in my eyes. The only ones that actually matter are the TBS title, the CMLL Women's title, and the Red Pro titles, which count as 1, so it's really 3/4. If you want to count the Ring of Honor Women's TV title as a major belt that she wants, but she's just collecting these and not defending them at all. The only one she did defend is the main 4. The main 3, I should say. The Red Pro title, the TBS title, and the CMLL title. That's the only belts she's defended. The other belts she's won, she just wins them and then retires them. Waste! I feel bad for these promoters that bring her in to take the belt off a long-term champ, like the last belt she won, the APAC belt, that, what's her name, I forgot her name, Noah something Phoenix had for over almost 750 days. They took it off her, they gave it to Mercedes. Dumb. Dumb. They're not going to see that belt again. Because they'll probably never see Mercedes again in, I don't know what country that's in. I don't know if it's Thailand or it's in Iran or Iraq area. I forget where that belt even comes from. I don't even know APAC. APAC, not X-Pac. X-Pac! But the APAC title. Some trinket title from a rinky-dink bingo hall fed. I mean, when Ultimo Dragon won all those belts, those 10 belts at the time, it was actual Japanese-American promotions that we all know and love. Same thing with Austin Aries, because he won the 5 belt, and then some other belts we know, the TNA title and X Division title, blah, blah, blah. And then we see to lose all of them like one swoop. But Mercedes wins 3 major titles, and then, not counting the Owen Hart title, because that's not a title. They recognize it as a title, which I don't know why. Really, if you think about it, she's 12 belts Moné. Not 13. I'm just saying. But, yeah. She wins the Ring of Honor Women's title, doesn't even care about it. So why'd you win it? You just wanted to win it so you have another piece of silver, in your freaking suitcase that you can barely get through, security and customs. I don't know. her run needs to end, and it needs to end tomorrow. Please. She's probably going to win, I feel she's going to win Wrestler of the Year, the Female Wrestler of the Year. I really should be Athena again, but they're probably going to give it to, most likely it's going to be Mercedes on the PWI awards or whatever, awards, anything like that. For the men, I don't know. For the men, I don't know who could be Wrestler of the Year. I'm thinking Takeshita. It has to be Takeshita. Or, as we say, take a shitter. So, we'll have to see what happens with that. Alright. We move on. More women's action. Persephone takes on Valentina Rossi. Or Rossi. This was a pretty decent match. 3-minute match. Did I say 3 minutes? Yeah. Persephone wins with the running laser's edge. Chico, something happened to this. Something happened to you, Chico. That's it. She gets to win in 3 minutes, beating this woman, whoever she is. Alright, so she's gaining momentum and will face Athena for the Ring of Honor Forever title at Final Battle. So we get that. Speaking of Athena, she comes out for a stare down, which sets up the title match, and then Diamante essay from LAX. She jumps Persephone from behind, and Athena sends her face first into the belt. Let's see what happens with that as we roll on. So 2 out of 5 stars for that. Alright, then we get to something better. The infantry. That's Garderobo and the captain, Sean Dean. They take on Top Flight, Darius and Dante Martin. I don't think Leda Gray was at ringside. She should have. But anyway, pretty decent match. 8 minutes. Getting in the end, a suplex neckbreaker combo gets in there on Dante, and then all from in the ring. The referee sees Sean Dean bring in a belt. What belt? I don't know. Probably I think one of the trios titles. I forget. And that this trios titles, so the one half of the trios champions, the 6-man champions. That lets Dante grab a sunset flip circa 1985. 1, 2, 3, Top Flight get the win. And it looks like we're going to get Skyflight versus Shane Taylor Promotions for the 6-man tag team titles. Do I care? No. So, the match was actually decent. 2.5 out of 5 stars. Speaking of Shane Taylor, he runs in for a big old beatdown. And then Scorpio Sky makes the save, setting up the 6-man tag team title match at Final Battle to close the show. And that's it. So, Ring of Honor, not great, but decent. So I gave Ring of Honor 6.25 out of 10 stars. And Impact, I gave 7 out of 10 stars. But let me know what you guys thought of the shows down below in the comment section. Because I know you watch Ring of Honor and TNA on Thursday night. I know you do, religiously. But let me know your thoughts down below and all that good shit. Alright, getting ready for SmackDown. We're about 20 minutes away. So I'm going to get ready for that. Get my sensible dinner ready pretty much during that time as well. So that's that. So once again, 6.25 out of 10 stars for Ring of Honor. 7 out of 10 stars for TNA. And as they say, that's it. So that's that. Alright guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. I'll be back after SmackDown with your AEW Collision and Dynamite review over on my Peter Joseph channel. That'll be it for the night. And then tomorrow we'll talk about Full Gear predictions, and then we'll try to do SmackDown somewhere in between there. Or maybe we just scrap SmackDown. We do SmackDown on Sunday along with the Full Gear review. Probably late Sunday. So, yeah, I'm thinking of doing that. So, because I'll be home late, and I don't think I'm going to want to do a review, so. Or any, for SmackDown, I don't want to even do Full Gear, because that's going to end like at 12:30 at least, knowing Tony Khan. So we got that. So, SmackDown review, we're coming on early Sunday, doing football, and then Full Gear Sunday night on the Peter Joseph channel. So stay tuned for that. Please hit that bell so you don't miss anything, because if you do, you're lost. And that's that. Alright guys, I am out of here. Thanks for watching, and until next time, if you're not down with that, me, the Prophecy, and Rosemary herself, and Abaddon, she's over there. Is she Abaddon? And everybody else in the Prophecy that are better than you, you know it, you love it, you wish you were us, but you're not. Bunch of douchebags hiding behind dumb avatars and your computers, because you're not better than us. You'll never silence the Prophecy, ever. So that's that. So, until next time, we got 3 words for you. Fuck you, man! That's it. Adios! Until next time. Peace, motherfuckers.